Up here we go, and here I am talking on mute. Greetings, greetings, greetings. Retrograde is in full effect, you guys. As you know, we normally open up with our Juneteenth meeting, but it just really went. Juneteenth was flashing. Here we are again at our weekly Lunch and Learn. For this week, for our Lunch and Learn, we will be discussing the impacts, due to the previous shutdown of events. It has become imperative to learn classes, webinars, and move forward. And this is into success. Sowell-Skeeter. Let's welcome Vanessa up to the stage. Just a few things about Vanessa. Actually, I'm going to let Vanessa give her own bio.
Oh, okay. Well, hello, everyone. Just to give you a little background about myself, I began my working career as a textile designer and later ventured into education. I spent the early years of teaching general education and most of the latter years as a special educator. I decided to retire, I found a way to utilize my art and design background through my love of stationery. And the company began with invitations, save the dates, note cards, and it grew from there. Customers would ask me if I could complete an item for them, and accepting the challenge to myself to learn how and produce it, I did. So right now, and even when I started, my main focus of this business is to represent the culture in unique ways.
Mm.
And hopefully I'm doing that. My offerings include the stationery items that I mentioned before, as well as graphic design t-shirts, drinkware, puzzles, small home decor, and much more. Custom design items are also available as an option on most products. I absolutely love what I do. The challenges in design help me to keep my mind sharp, and the completed products bring my customers and the gift recipients joy, which in turn makes me happy. So, granted, there are myriad products that I do not produce, but I'm more than happy to offer the business names of others who do produce those items because we have to support one another.
Beautiful, Vanessa. Well, thank you so much for that intro of yourself. I love hearing someone else speak of themselves. We don't highlight ourselves enough, and some of us sometimes have challenges in giving our own selves accolades. We'll pour into other folks, but we don't always know how to pour into ourselves. So it's beautiful when I get to hear someone else speak of themselves in such a highlight. So, Pastels, Prints, and Papers, that is the name of Vanessa's company. I want you all, Vanessa's going to have the stage by herself for a little while. Slides to share. And folks, please feel welcome to drop in the comments, ask questions. Please pour into her if there's anything that you'd like to share with her, and then get her information at the very end and keep her in mind for your endeavors. And for with that being said, I'm passing the stage over to you, Vanessa. I'll see you
Okay,
shortly.
thank you. All right. Well, I have some slides that I can share with you to show you some of the products, and I also have some products here that I can share with you. If we can start the slideshow. Okay, this is one of the products that I offer. These are printed earrings that I've um, taken designs and they're printed on both sides, so it's not just one side, and they're in a feather shape. Next slide, please. These are my mama said mugs. These are different sayings that you may have heard as you were growing up that your mom said, like, I'm not the one, or I'm not one of your little friends. And, I also have an actual live one here. Some of them come with the color interior and some of them have the white interior. Next slide, please. Okay, this is my Bubblegum Girl lounge set. I offer lounge sets with these shorts, and they're available with the spaghetti strap tops, tank tops, or t-shirt, and they range from size small up to size 2X. So this is a great way for the summer to just lounge around the house and be comfortable. And they come in various designs, which you can see more on the website. Next slide, please. These are my coloring shirts. This is a great way to keep the children entertained. For the smaller children, I have washable marker sets, which means that they can color in the shirt. You wash it, everything washes out, and they can color it in all over again the next day. That's lots of fun for them. And for the older youngsters, I have permanent markers which they can use to do the same thing with their coloring shirts if they so choose. Next slide, please. These are puzzles. I offer custom and pre-printed puzzles, and I also offer the color in puzzles. So for a color in puzzle, you would get a set of permanent markers, and you or your child could color it in before you take it apart and put it back together. Next slide, please. These are some of my insulated tumblers. These keep your drinks hot or cold for hours. Okay, and some of the designs I have shown here are just a small sample of what's available. And these are also available to be made as custom items. I can put your photo, a family member's photo, your child's photo, a group of photos, pretty much anything you want on these items. Next slide, please. These are, again, the insulated tumblers, but these have the crown toppers. Now, the crown is attached to the top of the cup so that you can take the top off to clean your cup, of course. And there's no worry. Once that crown is affixed to it, it's not going anywhere, so you don't have to worry about it coming loose. And again, these can be custom designed, and also the crowns are available in different options. Next slide, please. These are some of my graphic design mugs. As you can see, we have something for dad, something with just a cute little saying, some with African design prints, and the options are endless. Next slide, please. Okay, here we offer some pillowcases and pillows. Okay, this pillowcase at the bottom is a learning pillow. Now, you can get that with just the pillowcase and put the pillow in yourself, or you can purchase it with the pillow already inserted. This comes available for students from pre-K up to fifth grade. So this way they can practice while they're in their room on whatever it is that they need to get a little extra help with. Next slide, please. This is another option, and this is one of my favorite images. It says, I got your back, sis. And it's something that we all could use and toward each other. Sorry. Next slide, please. This is a recent graduation set that I did for a student who's on her way to college. This is a pillow And at the bottom is the library of the school that she's going to be attending. That's her in the center. And next to it is a journal. That's the back of the journal with a little motivational quote to keep her focused while she's away at school. Next slide, please. Here is where it all started with note cards. I love stationery, and there's nothing better than getting a note card from someone that you may not have heard from, just to say, hello, I'm thinking of you, or even to say thank you. These are also available as custom or pre-printed options. Next slide, please. Lastly, what we're all here for, Juneteenth. These are some of the Juneteenth shirts that I've done in the past. I have some new designs that I'll be adding this year, and they're available for children as well as adults. I think that's the last slide, if I'm not mistaken. Can we see the next slide, please? Next slide, please. Okay. Well, then that's the end of that. So let me show you, if I can, some of the items that I have here. This is one that I did, and it's just a series of ladies looking lovely in their red. And as you can see, it is the insulated tumbler, and it has a slide open top, and they all come with their own straw. So you have your own personal straw for your cup. This is another of my favorites. This is an image of a sister very deep in thought. It says Soul Vibes. There was a motivational journal, a writing journal that was accompanying this, but someone purchased it. So now I have to make another one to go along with her. And lastly, well, not lastly, but last of the tumblers is my biblical motivational cup. Anything that you might be feeling, it sends you to a place in your Bible that you can get that motivation that you might need. One of the other things that I do is keychains. It's something that we all carry, and I have a variety of options. This one is just a little, what we call the money bear. You can see, oh, there we go. You can see that. Okay. And this was one that I did for Black History Month. Okay, here we go. And these two are just two African designed options that I did. Sorry. There we go. Okay. So to go to tell you a little bit more about how I pivoted, I was just building up to a nice flow, doing live events when the pandemic hit. My business, like many others, came to a screeching halt. I wondered, okay, now what? So to keep my name out there and also to offer something useful, I put my education background to work and offered packets for different grade ranges, which included indoor games, project-based learning activities, and budget-stretching recipes that could be completed by student and parent together. I knew that parents were not accustomed to having to entertain their children for such long stretches of time. Realizing that it might be a while before it was safe to go outside again, I worked on revamping my website, my product line, and social media promotions. And I'm hopeful that you'll pop on during the Juneteenth New York City weekend virtual portion of the event and say hello. You can visit the website, look around. Something may catch your eye. I'll also be offering a special discount code for the weekend virtual event, which will be active from Friday evening at 5 p.m. through Sunday at 9 p.m. And you will be able to use the code 20OFF 1865 for 20% off of your entire purchase. Okay, so Jamie.
That's beautiful. If yeah, perfect. I like that. I like that layout. That was a beautiful, beautiful. First of all, your products are so like the quality in them. I can
Hmm.
feel the intention. I can feel the love, the clarity of the boldness of the colors, the clarity and boldness of the colors, I should say, are just so grand. Something that I wanted to speak to you about is I read in your bio where you had some realities of the industry that you had went to school for, and I could
Hmm.
totally relate to that. I actually strayed away from fashion once I went and realized that things were marketed up 300%. Once I
Hmm.
kind of got that lesson, a lot of the taste that I had and the passion that I had for designing kind of went out the window. It did transfer over to something else later, of course, because once you're creative, you stay a creative. You're always a
Right.
creative. You just find another place to be creative in.
Yeah.
So I would love to hear a little bit about what you discovered, because there are many people out there that think of these different industries but don't really know the realities, and it sucks to go to school for something
Hmm.
and then feel like it doesn't really align with who you are and your purpose. So please share with me how you were able to even pivot that, because you completed. So unlike me, I realized that like really early on and kind of stopped going for that anyway.
Well,
And
okay. I started in high school. That was my major in high school. I went to the High School of Fashion Industries. So, and my major was textile design. So I'd always had an interest in art. And I went on to the Fashion Institute of Technology. And again, my major was textile design. And when I graduated, of course, I went into the industry thinking, oh, this is going to be great. I'm going to be doing what I love. And then I realized that the people in the garment industry don't always have elevators that go to the top.
oh, I love
So,
that. Beautiful way to put
I at that time, once I started working, I remember at one point I had a son, he was 3 years old, and he got chicken pox.
it.
And they wanted me to put my son in the hospital so I could come to work. And I said, I'm sorry, they don't hospitalize children for things like that. Well, then you need to hire a private nurse. And I said, I'm sorry, you don't pay me enough money to do that.
Hello. Like, is that a
So,
part of the package?
uh,
Did I not read that somewhere in my contract?
yeah. And there were a few other instances. And I was like, okay, this is not for me. So I went to my, because at that time we were working with like career counselors from school. And I said, listen, take my name out your file. I'm leaving this industry. I need to go do something else.
Mm, mm.
So, she says, oh, well, if you ever want to come back, no, I don't think so.
Okay,
So
gotcha.
I decided at that point, I needed to do something else. And there were other things that I did want to do. Unlike other people, I don't know if everyone does this. I had a map in my mind of what I wanted to do in my life.
Hmm,
And I
hmm.
knew I wanted to work in textiles, which I did. I didn't stay for as long as I had hoped, but I
Gotcha,
also wanted to learn accounting and bookkeeping. So that's where I went next.
gotcha, gotcha.
And I worked in that industry for a while. And, I really enjoyed it. But then while I was doing that, I went back to school and started working on my teaching credentials because I knew that was the career that I wanted to retire from,
Beautiful.
you
And
know.
what age range did you teach?
Well, when I taught general ed, it was sixth through eighth grade. But then once I started teaching special ed, it was K through eighth grade.
Understood. I was sitting here wondering how the passion, because I saw that a lot of your products align with school, with graduations, with
Yeah.
learning. So I definitely picked up on that, and I love how you were able to mesh the two industries. And your passion for teaching, and also your passion for design, it really shows and it shines through. So I feel like there's a wealth of knowledge in you that we could pull out, and I'm curious as to I'm intuiting where to take the conversation to next. So while at home during the pandemic, I know that you shared that you decided to get into this, but what was the height of the moment that had you decide, okay, this is the business here that I could start? How did you get on the path to see that these graphics, these images, the mugs that say things like that, like what led you to those things?
Well, when I knew I was going to retire,
Mhm.
and for most of my teaching career, I had worked two, sometimes three jobs, because that's
Mhm.
just me. And I knew I could not sit around. So I had to decide how I wanted to channel that energy. And
Mhm.
I said, well, you love stationery, and people are always going to get married, so they're always going to need invitations. So why not try that? So
I
that's how it started,
love that.
And the kids are never far from my mind, because even after I retired, they asked me to come back, and I did for a year, and work with special cases that were out of school for a long extended periods of time.
Yeah, so one of the first things that came to my mind when you started really sharing your pieces and what you do and what you ended up, because you don't want to assume when you read prints, pastels, and papers.
Hmm.
I don't like to let my mind run. I like to wait and
Hmm.
see and be told what something is, because otherwise I'm creating all kind of stories for you, and then it just may be something totally different. But in my head, I heard an alternative to mahogany.
Hmm.
That's beautiful. I know a small handful of, maybe actually, I won't even say a small handful, two other people that I know personally that are into card lines and created
Hmm.
card lines. And
Hmm.
that was what I heard. I was just like,
Hmm.
I could see you making some amazing cards, having an opportunity to, I don't know if you write or if you're a poet at all, but if not, then having an opportunity to partner with someone else of color and create these, amazing, all types of cards. There's so many other avenues that you can take your work down. I
Hmm.
absolutely love that you even took it in the area of earrings. Could
Hmm.
you share how that came about? What
Well,
got
one of the things I started doing when I retired, and I started the stationery line, is I started making jewelry. And I like that because for me it was very therapeutic. It was an easy thing to do, and I love earrings. I have a wall that you can't see, there are earrings hanging up on my wall, because
oh,
that's like one of my main pieces of jewelry. And when I get ready to get dressed, I go to my earring wall and decide what earrings I'm going to wear with this outfit.
I love it. I love it. So
So
the earrings drive the outfit.
yeah, and it's been very annoying, because with the mask, it's really hard and things get all tangled up, and so it's very annoying. I'll be glad when we get past this. But
Yeah, hopefully we do. I do.
yeah, yeah. But I started making jewelry, and I would make, pretty simple things like with pearls and beads, and different coppers and silver and gold wires. And that was nice. And then I said, okay, well, this is nice, but this is not really what I want to do.
Yes.
So that's when, I started incorporating a few more items into the line, in addition to what the customers were asking me to do. But the printed earrings, when I started doing the other things, and I saw they had earrings that were available that I could print on, I said, oh, well, this is a great idea, because, I love art, and I love all of the African prints and designs that are out there. And I said, these would look lovely on earrings.
Hmm.
And
Great.
here we are.
And they do. I was great saying that they do. I'm like, I'm just hearing so many more things, and it's like, hush, Jamie, that's not your line. I'm like, yeah. She's into textiles. Those earrings could have matching masks. Since we are
Yes.
still in the era of
Well, I
wearing.
did do that. I for a while with, with the mask, I have on a headband now. because I
Yes.
had to go out earlier. But this is my headband for my mask that has buttons so that this way it doesn't have to go behind my ears. And I have headbands and masks that all match. I have masks that match all my clothes.
Super cool. And are those available in your line as well?
Yes, they are.
Okay, all right. Well, is there anything else that you would like to share with our community today?
Oh yeah, the one thing I did not share with you, which okay, now I don't know where I put them. Um, you know what? I left them in the other room. I'm not going to go and get them, but you can see them online. In addition to the insulated tumblers, I also do writing journals. And I have done journal sets where you have your tumbler and your journal that have matching images. One of the images that okay, now I don't know what I did with her. Okay. All right. Well, I may have put it down when I was on my way back here because I had a few things in my hand.
I was going to say
But
that's what happens in the creative space. I know all
yeah,
about the creative
I was
space.
trying to bring everything so I wouldn't have to get up, and I left that. But I do the writing journals, and they can match the insulated tumblers. They can also be done to match the mugs, the coffee mugs.
Oh,
And another thing that I'm working on right now, and it's going to be published, is a motivational journal because I feel that we've all been through so much the past 2 years that, some of us just need that extra little virtual hug.
yes.
And that could come through that motivational journal. And what I've done is I've asked people that I know in different walks of life, including myself, to share some stories of things that they've encountered and worked through to help someone else have that motivation to, get up the next morning and keep going.
Oh, I love that. So it's like a compilation journal,
Yeah,
compile different things gifted to you
yeah,
to motivate others. I love that. I love that. The energy in that just feels so grand that the person receiving it or using it should definitely be able to generate some sort of healing or
mhm,
just, release, which is what
mhm,
a lot of us need right now, healing and release
yeah,
of the tears, release of the pain, release of the stagnation, release of all the different things that have come about from these, like you said, these last 2 years.
mhm.
Well, it has been an honor, an absolute honor to speak to you today. Your information is in the chat box, but I would love for you to share with those who aren't able to read it right now and may have time to just go and follow you right now. Can you tell them what platforms and what ways they can get in contact with you?
Yes, my website is www.pastels with an S, prints with an S, papers with an S.com. And on IG, I'm just Pastels Prints Papers. And on Facebook, you can find me at triple TRRRIPLEP.
Love it, love it, love it. Thank you so much. And her email is also in the comments. So if you'd like to reach out to collaborate, to purchase, go to the website. If you want to collaborate or ask any questions, I would suggest that you email her. And
Yes,
thank you for
feel
being
free.
with us today, Vanessa. We really appreciate you.
Thank you for having me.
All right. See you backstage. Well, community, that wraps up another week of our Lunch and Learn. Thank you so much for joining us today. I hope that you will all be reaching out to Miss Vanessa Sowell-Skeeter. Just the passion, the energy, and the intention in her brand is amazing. Please check her out. So for next week, we will have a panel discussion where couples will be chatting about making love last forever. In the words of Keith Sweat, make it last forever and ever. So we'll be joined by Teresa Anderson and her husband as they discuss relationship, finances, living triumphantly, post obstacles and hardships, and live their truth. They'll be here with us. Hopefully, we'll see you again. We only have two more lunch and learns until we are at the weekend of Juneteenth. Can't wait. I'm so excited. The meetings have been revving up and everything is falling in place and falling together. Can't wait to see you all. See you next week.
Bye.